How's it going, people? Simon Slabby here, and this is RuneScape lore. Going on a bit of a random one here. Main reason I do this, this is the Histories of the Hallowland. It's a book you actually receive whilst doing the In Aid of the myreque quest. And as you probably expect, it kind of goes over some of the history of Mauritania. And it's, well, it's the official story from Jagex, seeming as it's from the actual book. I have covered Dragon before, so some of this you may have heard if you've actually seen that one. Yeah, thought I'd be covering this one. There's a few books in here which give you quite a lot of information, and since it's from Jagex, it is the official stuff, so there we go. Let's get into it then. In years gone by, the land of Mauritania went by another name, that of the Hallowland. Much of that age has now disappeared in the mists of time, and as distant as forbidden as that time appears to be. Sometimes, like that dread land Mauritania itself, we need to shoulder our heavy armour and trudge wearily onwards. To understand the past gives us some glimmer of hope of understanding our time here, and now perhaps a hopeful glance towards the future. The strange structures in the land of Mauritania is due most likely in no small part to the many wars that have been fought through the lands of RuneScape. But even here, there is something quite strange about the terrain. Swampy and rotten, the foul smell of death and desolation fills the air. Where does this pungent aroma actually come from? It's said that before the Dark Lord Draken arrived within Mauritania, the very different land existed. A green land, pleasant and bounteous. Sufficient to please hundreds of farmers and to supply large towns, villages and cities with food. However, there's little information to support this idea. But there are hints that this land had not always been the darkened and dreadful place it now appears to be. There is some speculation about a time before our recorded history, when there appeared to be some disputes between the gods. In this time, it was said that Saradomin and Zamorak brought forces into the world to fight for them, and claim large areas of land. Where they actually brought these forces from, and how, is very much still a mystery. However, we can hardly deny that many weird and unnatural creatures do indeed exist in this land. Things which even the most advanced scholars do not yet comprehend. Many of these creatures still infest Mauritania even today, and their place of origin is still not properly located. As an example of strange creatures, let us focus on the gas of Mordmire Swamp. Which bizarre act of nature caused these freakish creatures to actually exist? It seems that whoever dies in that diseased and disgusting place is forever doomed to it. Ever hungry and searching for victims to feed on. Blessed it is then, that somehow brave new adventurers are able to reveal these foul creatures and actually destroy them. And at the same time, release the tortured soul from its earthbound torment. It is clear that some influence is at work in Mauritania, and its intent to bend towards evil. Before this dark period in history, Mauritania is believed to have actually had a golden age of peace. However, it is hard to imagine that the shade-infested town of Morden could have once been a busy, happy, thriving, bustling town. And even Canifis, once a busy market village supplying all manner of goods to the local population, instead of a cesspit of werewolf activity, and a certain death trap for all but the hardiest of adventurers. Stories and yarns told by inhabitants of Mauritania, and those lucky few who make their way out of the Darkland, give us some glimpses of what might have actually happened here. From these people came many bits of stories and song, from which we can piece together a plausible history line that is true aim of this tome. Let us begin with the current overlord of Mauritania, Luernial Virginiad Dragon. His reign in Mauritania has been unchallenged in the history of this land. But how long has this actually been? What do we even know of this Dark Lord? It is clear to many who have actually visited Mauritania that he is indeed a creature of darkness, a vampire. But by which strange happenstance did he come to be here? Some reports say that he came from beneath the ground of a great castle that stands within the middle of Mauritania. But reports claim that a huge city lies beneath the castle. This does not actually seem plausible, yet others say that there are countless tunnels which lead into a flaming dark inferno, which is claimed that these dark creatures actually come from. Even more unlikely, What is interesting is that in all of these great yarns, one fact always remains the same. He came into and attacked a castle which already existed. It is the author's belief that the castle existed before Draken entered Mauritania, and that some other power seems to have existed in this land before him. What this power was is not known, though stories again give us a glimpse of what might have possibly been. One such tale is of a queen from a faraway land of considerable power and revered by the peoples. It is also claimed that the peoples named the land Hallowland after her, though there is no true record of this. It is interesting to consider, is it not, that at a time of people's unpleasantness could have existed in the land of Mauritania before this, and perhaps to consider hope and even pray that at some point those times shall be returned to this dark plagued land. However, let us not forget that had it not been for the 7 priestly warriors of Silveria, that the lands of Mauritania might even extend further than as they are today. Mauritania might even have extended towards Falador and Varak, and may have been an even more sinister city than it is today. And of those 7, perhaps the most intriguing could said to be Evander Serges of Lumbridge. His silverith rod of power with blue serene gems was said to have been crafted by the artisans of Saradomin himself. And though there are no accurate records, it is said that its exacting and precise dimensions and shape were the just reason for its great power. When asked about how it was made and how it came into being, Evandus had always simply commented, of silthril and exact dimensions is the item constructed. After enchantments that come from the magic of man, it can be placed in our Lord Saradomin's holy water where magical blessings will he commit to it. It is not clear why he would hide such important details in such incoherent rambling. Suffice it to say that many artisans have indeed tried recreating this holy relic in a bid to supply adventurous types, keen on restoring balance to Mauritania, but alas, this could not happen, because the true dimensions of the relic are not accurately known. It is believed that this secret, along with the artifact, died with Evandus, and now lies sealed upon his tomb beneath Patadermus, never to be seen again. Another infuriatingly cryptic element is yet to be explained, and this is the balance which Guthix is supposed to have invested into Evandus, in the form of a potion. Once again, his cryptic message does not help very much. Guthix's balance needs to be fed to those minions of the darkness in order for the balance to be restored, and this task is carried out only when they are held in Saradomin's power. For this to occur, one should supplement a common potion of bodily restoration with the essence of garlic and silver dust, the latter being gained by the use of a strange machine in the town to the northeast of Mauritania, and in the hands of some ghostly beings. Well, whatever the truth of all these details, it seems clear that Draken is intent on staying. His authority in this region has never been challenged and perhaps arguably has grown over the centuries. Reports from the area are limited to and so vague, so perhaps the truth is either far less or far greater than we currently comprehend. In any event, it is clear that some strategy should be forthcoming if Draken's evil minion should once again try to spread into Misthalin. It is believed, perhaps in error, that Patadermus will stand forever as a silent guardian against the power of Mauritania. Perhaps one day, we will see a redress of the evil that Draken has brought to Mauritania, and we will get to witness firsthand the bounteous riches and wholesome living that could be had in that land once known as Hallowland. So yeah, that is it. So that's the Histories of Hallowland. You do obtain this in the aid of the myreque quest, so some of this information we do actually know. For example, who lived within Mauritania prior to this. We know it was the Ician because that's referenced from other information. But yeah, it's a pretty good story. I kind of like this one. There's quite a few like this, so I might be covering some of these from now on. Basically the official books from when you do quests and things like that, because a lot of them have some nice info, and yeah, should piece it all together for you. So either way, people, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed. This has been your RSLore, so until next time, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.